Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be reacting to some more Gladys Knight and the Pips. And I think it's a bit coincidental, but rather recently on the channel, I gave a first-time reaction to Aretha Franklin. And Aretha, if you'll know, is referred to as the Queen of Soul, but Gladys is referred to as the Empress of Soul. So Queen and Empress, they're both, relatively speaking, the same kind of label with slightly different connotations. Not sure if there's like an intrinsic hierarchy within Queen or Empress or Empress or Queen, whatever. For me, I just love good music. But if you guys have any insight as to why those two are named those two different things, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But before we jump into these three tracks today, a massive thank you goes to Russell for making this reaction request and for bringing some Gladys Knight and the Pips back to the channel. Now, my friends, let's jump into it. Gotta use my imagination. It's always a good morning when you get to start it off with some soul. Keep on keeping on response, I feel like that's gonna be the hook. Oh, I love the rhythm. Emptiness has found me. What a lyric. Oh, this is mixed so interestingly. Because even like the trumpets and some of these additional instruments that are quieted down, they don't get that much louder with this, like what I presume to be the transition into the chorus. And notably, most choruses, they'll follow like a sort of ramping structure. So by the time you get to the chorus, you get a bigger hit for everybody to know very clearly, like, hey, this is where we're at. But it's almost like here we get a slight elevation in intensity by this point, but not by like a crazy amount. Who knows, we're earlier on, so maybe we're ramping for an even bigger moment. Oh, I love the way her voice rips through. I like that lyric, because our misunderstanding is too well understood. Even though it feels unique, it continues to happen, and it happens to everybody, so we're not a unique specimen here. It's like I've had no unique experiences. I've heard people say that a lot. I love the way the strings fit into this here. The call and response is already lovely. But it's like the strings are also playing into it. sounds like a fade out. I don't know if you guys will agree with me here, but it's almost like when Gladys is singing in this song, she's doing like a quiet kind of belt, as if she's like with all her might. I know this is not the case, but just follow along here. With all her might throwing out her voice, but then it like kind of barely falls out of her mouth, and it isn't like she's missing any of the notes. It's almost like a compression of the full capacity of her belt, let's say. To me, it feels very tactful as a decision, and it also maps well onto what we were hearing with the overall mix. I felt like this song just overall was quieter than I was expecting it to be, and I think I have all of my audio and stuff turned up here. So with a relatively quiet backdrop, Gladys's voice doesn't have to be as much louder than all that we have below. She just needs to be right on the surface, and her timbre, her quality, her lyrics will kind of put her over the edge routinely. And I think you can say a similar thing about the response from the pips, because we always have this kind of Gladys pips back and forth, that call and response. And generally, the response is going to be a bit quieter. It's going to be a bit further back in the mix. And maybe, if you're singing higher voicings, they're going to be up in the rafters there. So you create this like cool, subtle depth when you have multiple voices. And there were also moments too where they sung in unison, but I felt like the strings actually were more so like harmonizing with Gladys throughout rather than the pips. At times too, it also felt like the strings sounded a bit like flutes. I know I mentioned both of those. I'm not convinced that there were flutes in this for real, because strings are very good at mimicking different sounds, the voice being one of them, guitar being one of them. Flute is another instrument that, yes, you'll have in orchestral or big orchestral arrangements, but in this song, I don't necessarily think there was one. We can talk about it lyrically before we jump into the next track, but it seems to be that this song, I've Got to Use My Imagination, has to do with just holding out for hope, sort of a reason to keep on going on after losing a relationship. It can feel like you've lost a piece of yourself, and rediscovering who you are in this world, what you think, what you feel, independent of that other person, can be very hard right away. And you feel like, oh man, I'm going to give up because I lost the entirety of me. I lost a larger part of me, maybe even the majority of me. But using your imagination, going deep within in an effort to process all that's gone on, but also find reasons within you and maybe even outside of you to keep pushing forward. It's one of the reasons why, like, in the process of goal attainment, you often don't give yourself like the simple thing that you kind of do on a daily basis. You give yourself a bit of a further, loftier goal, because that extrinsic motivation, you see it every single day, and if you can make concrete progress towards it, it is that much more motivating to keep on going on rather than having something truly amorphous. But I guess with imagination in mind, it doesn't have to be as concrete. You can take it either way, but to not do it means you don't rely on any hope. And I think the human body, the human spirit with no hope is it's not impossible to survive, but it is a bit bleak at times. Let's check out the next track here. This is Help Me Make It Through the Night.
I'm imagining a lot of happy people, and most of you are with someone you love. Well, you are the lucky ones. All over the world there are lots of people who are alone tonight.
Right.
I imagine most of us have been in that situation at some time or another. I know I have. Recently I heard a most beautiful song with a dynamic lyric that really expresses this feeling of loneliness. It means a lot to me personally, and I'd like to share it
I'm
with
curious what she's going to come up with.
you. I think you'll see what I mean.
What is she referencing?
Take the ribbon from my hair, shake it loose and let it fall.
It's a lullaby.
Laying soft against your skin, like the shadows on the wall.
This is a small note here, but that I don't often bring up, but I feel like it definitely applies in this song. You can hear a bit of this ambient kind of static in this mix, and I don't know why I like it so much here, because I almost feel like if you were to just create some kind of like white noise or grainy sound in your mix, it takes away from some of the musicality, some of the melody. But in this song, because everything is so stripped down, it is just Gladys's voice kind of narrating. There's a bit of like a blend between those two styles, and then this very bright light key sound. That's pretty much it. Then the static, I guess, is like the the third man.
Like the shadows on the wall, come and lay down by my side.
Oh, chills.
Till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time.
The simplicity in the chimes.
Help me make it through the night.
It almost feels like a bit of a cleansing, a bit of a reset with each clash.
Right or wrong, and I won't try to understand.
Oh, I really love Gladys's voice in this.
Let the devil take tomorrow.
Powerful delivery on devil there.
Oh, tonight I need a friend.
And the bass following underneath.
Day is dead and gone.
The slide holding down.
And tomorrow's out of sight. And it's so sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night.
You hear how bright those strings are. They soar above you.
Lord, it's so sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night.
Oh, the hit with the trumpet.
Lead me through the night. Come on and take me through the night. Through the night.
Interesting. That was a really emotional song. I almost would say it's a bit of a slow burn, the way that it never really like has like an obvious moment where just everything peaks and then falls down. There's a gradual raising of the emotional floor of this song, and then you get a kind of subsiding by the very end. But as I was noting at the very beginning, there were the three elements: the voice, the keys, and then the static, and then we had the strings, and then we had the trumpet, and then one by one, each layer started to fill this mix, and things didn't necessarily have to get louder. There was just more in the pot. And I feel like the one thing that did obviously change in terms of intensity was in Gladys's performance. You could hear her allowing her voice to kind of open up a bit more. Her belts felt more powerful. Her vibratos were more. I guess the amplitude of that wave increased and increased by the end of some of her vocal phrases, without ever having to like go too crazy into the like imagine like Celine Dion like belting and hitting those extremely high notes and holding them for a long period of time. I don't think that style would have worked in a song like this that is fully reliant on just the intimacy, the feeling of loneliness, which she's referencing at the beginning, like, hey, the ones of you who are not lonely in the night, you're the lucky ones, because I am alone with my thoughts, no one to kind of hold me tight, help me get through the difficult days. And you want to hear that kind of emotionality reflected in the musicality, in the overall feel, in the vibe. If this song like took a very upbeat approach towards the end, then qualitatively we would feel like, okay, well, she has now all of the confidence on her own to make it through the night, and it would almost feel like a bit of a happy conclusion. Help me make it through the night. Okay, I got the help that I needed, and now I'm making it through the night. But it feels like here in this song, the conclusion is, I need the Lord to help me make it through the night. I can't do this on my own. Just help me, help me, help me. And it's sort of a song about quiet desperation because of this loneliness. And like I said, you want the musicality to support that feeling, and I feel like it completely does. Of the two we've heard so far, I really like the vibe in this one. Yeah, this is a great one from Gladys. Let's check out the final song of the day. This one is titled Part-Time Love. There we go.
I need somebody who's consistent with me.
Wow.
Someone already there when I need
this chromatic progression. Where have I heard this? 'Cause
when I'm feeling low, I don't wanna have to go out looking for a part-time kind of love.
Oh, I love this chord progression so much.
And when the dreams and rainbows start to disappear,
like that little step staring down, that melodic movement, I have heard that somewhere. I don't know where. If you guys know the reference I'm thinking about, let me know, because like this is gonna bother me the rest of the day, not knowing where I have heard that specific movement from. God, it is so familiar. Part of my brain thinks Dream On, Aerosmith. There's that movement in the I think it's the verse or pre-chorus.
start to disappear. I don't want somebody up and running out of here. 'Cause when you stop and start, baby, it's just too hard.
I like that it's a bit ominous.
That part-time kind of love. I can't take you, darling, living here and wait and see. I want somebody who's committed now to me. Somewhere, someday you've got to take a chance.
Oh, the electric guitar on the beat. gotta hear that again. We gotta hear that whole sequence again. What a vibe there. Her emotionality pouring through her vocals. Like when her voice breaks, that's what they call a vocal cry. And you can create that sound very intentionally. It's not just an artifact of speaking and then misspeaking during puberty where your voice kind of breaks unintentionally. No, she chooses to do that, and it sounds so amazing.
Someday you've got to take a chance. If you like the
Electric guitar very momentarily in your left headphone.
get up and dance.
Oh,
If we grow together,
I love that.
daring to dream.
That was my favorite moment from Gladys across these
I
three.
know we're gonna find our share of peaches and cream. And when the juices flow, I don't wanna no excuses. Just want your full-time love for me. Just want your full-time love for me.
How are we gonna resolve it? Major. I love this song. This was my favorite. I just love the melody. I love the progression. I love the emotional performance from Gladys. This, in the 2.5 minutes we had to enjoy Part-Time Love, I think immediately had me interested melodically. And by the time we had the full drum beat and band coming together, then Gladys's vocals starting to soar, like I was perfectly sold. Like I have to always repeat this statement, but like my bias is when it comes to like the minor scales and these darker progressions and sadder kind of songs, I will never get over it. In fact, I think the more and more I listen to music, the more and more I fall in love with that specific style among all of the other progressions and scales that I've become more and more acclimated to. But like that is a basket for me that just is so refreshing. It continues to deliver, and when I get goosebumps all over my body, like that is the like telltale sign that I love a song, and Part-Time Love is that song for me today. And think lyrically too what's happening here, like it is a complete like it's another like desperate call for just being loved. It feels like she is incomplete, is what I was trying to like think of earlier. Incomplete without the full-time love of another. And really, why would you want anyone's part-time love? If that is completely nourishing for you, then I guess fine. But also, if somebody is not putting their all into you, I feel like there's more for you to experience than just to be a sort of, not necessarily afterthought, but to not be like the highest priority. And I'm not going to get lost into too much of like the different relationship dynamics that exist out there, especially like in the 21st century where people are constructing all kinds of different relationship dynamics where you can be a part-time lover and people are okay with that. I say, like, if that is what you are opting for, then just know what you are doing with both eyes wide open. But if the situation is something that is purely monogamous, is purely between the two of you, why would you ever want that person's part-time love? I think love should be overflowing. It should be always very directed. It should be intentional. And, love doesn't take a break, even on the hardest of days. And to be honest, especially on the hardest of days. If that's when you decide to call off your love, well, can it be called love? I leave that question to you. But for me today, Gladys Knight and the Pips, they delivered in 3 very different ways. I was almost expecting these 3 tracks to follow a similar kind of style, but this final one here definitely like pulled on my emotional heartstrings the most, and it took this more like power ballady approach. The second track was far more of a lullaby, and what we had at the beginning felt closer to maybe your standard soul, your standard R&B, which when it comes to Gladys Knight and the Pips, it's not really like, it's not like they're adopting their style off somebody else. This is very much on the forefront. So, they've established a sound that a lot of people use and have loved over the years. So when you then listen to it after the fact, you're like, oh, this sounds like so much of what I've already experienced before. But, we have to look at the chronology too. And Gladys Knight and the Pips preceded many, hence why she is known as the Empress. But again, I am curious why there's an Empress of Soul and a Queen of Soul with Aretha in mind. But hope you all enjoyed the reaction today. If you did and would like to request more Gladys Knight yourself, you can always do so by using the first link in the description box below to request a reaction. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.